Hello everyone, welcome back to EnglishKul and with another chapter. This is chapter number 16. Yesterday we have completed our chapter 15. So before start guys, as I always request you to, today I'll request again that if you find anything, any mistake or any suggestion, please comment me below. Who can improve my communication as well as yours. And I have shared in the my WhatsApp number in the description. You can message me there as well. The number is 98739 76739. So, and if you also want to improve your communication, please message me for the same as well. How to stick with good habits every day. In 1993, a bank in Abbotsford, Canada, hired a 23 years old stockbroker named Trent Smith. Abbotsford was a relatively small suburb tucked away in the shadow of nearby Vancouver, where most of the big business deals were being made, given the location and the fact that Smith was a rookie and nobody expected too much of him, but he made risk progress. Think of a simple daily habit. Within 18 months, Smith was bringing in $5 million to the firm. And by age 24, he was making 75,000 per year, the equivalent of 125 $125,000 today. Not long after the landed a six-figure job with another company. I like to refer to this technique as the paperclip strategy. And this year I have heard from readers who have employed in it in a variety ways. One woman shifted a hairpin from one container to another. Whenever she wrote a page of her book, another man moved a marble from one bin to the next after each set of push-ups. Making progress is satisfying, and visual measures like moving paper clips or hairpins or marbles provide clear evidence of your progress. As a result, they reinforce your behavior and add a little bit of immediate satisfaction to any victory. How to keep your habit on track. A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit. The most basic format is to get a calendar and across of each day you stick with your routine. For example, if you meditate on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, each of those dates gets an X. As time rolls by, the calendar becomes a record of your habit streak. Countless people have tracked their habits, but perhaps the most famous was Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin, at the age 20, Franklin carried a small booklet everywhere he went and used it to track 13 personal virtues. This list included goals like lose no time, be always employed in something useful, and avoid trifling conversation. At the end of each day, Franklin would open his book and record his progress. Don't break the chain is a powerful mantra. Don't break the chain of sales you you will build a successful book of business. Don't break the chain of workouts and you will get fit faster than you would expect. Don't break the chain of creating every day and you will end up with an immersive portfolio. Habit tracking is powerful because it leverages a multiple level of behavior change. It stimulants make a behavior obvious, attractive, and satisfying. Let's break down each one. Benefit number one, habit tracking is obvious. Recording your last action create a trigger that can initiate your next one. Habit tracking naturally build a series of visual cues like the streak of X on your calendar or the list of meals in your food log. When you look at the calendar and see your streak, you will be reminded to act again. Research has shown that people who track their progress and goals, like losing weight, quitting smoke, and lowering blood pressure, are all more likely to improve than those who don't. One study of more than 1,600 people found that those who kept daily food lost twice as much weight as those who did not. The mere act of tracking a behavior can spark the urge to change it. Habit tracking also keeps you honest. Most of us have a distorted view of our own behavior. We think we act better than we do. Measurement offers one way to overcome our blindness to our own behavior and notice what really going on each day. One glance at the paperclip in the container and you immediately know how much work you have been putting in. When the evidence is right in front of you, you are less likely to lie to yourself. Benefit number two, habit tracking is attractive. The most effective form of motivation is progress. When we get a signal that we are moving forward, we become more motivated to continue down that path. In the way, in this way, habit tracking can have an addictive effect on motivation. Each small win feeds your desire. This can be particularly powerful on a bad day. When you are feeling down, it's easy to forget about all the progress you have already made. Habit tracking provides visual proof of your hard work, a subtle reminder of how far you have come. Plus, the empty square you see each morning can motivate you to get started because you don't want to lose your progress by breaking the streak. Yeah. Benefit number three, habit tracking is satisfying. This is the most crucial benefit of all. Tracking can become its own form of reward. It is satisfying of cross an item of your to-do list to complete an entry in the in your workout log or to mark an X on the calendar. It feels good to watch your result grow, the size of your investment portfolio, the length of your book mm, manuscript, and it and if it feels good, then you are more likely to endure. In summary, habit tracking one creates a visual cue that can remind you to act. Second is inherently motivated because you see the progress you are making and don't want to lose it. And third, feel satisfying whenever you record another successful instance of your habit. Furthermore, habit tracking provides visual proof that you are casting votes for the type of person you wish to become, which is a delightful form of immediate and instant gratification. Despite all the benefits, I have left this discussion until now for a simple reason. Many people resist the idea of tracking and measuring. It can feel like a burden because it forces you into two habits, the habit you are trying to build and the habit of tracking it. Counting calories sounds like a hassle when you are already struggling to follow a diet. Writing down every sales call seems tedious or when you have got work to do. It feels easier to say. Trekking isn't for everyone, and there is no need to measure your entire life, but nearly everyone can benefit from it in some form, even if it's only temporary. What can we do to make tracking easier? First, whenever possible, measurement should be automated. You will probably be surprised by how much you are already tracking without knowing it. Your credit card statement tracks how often you go out to eat. Your Fitbit registers how many steps you take and how long you sleep. Your calendar records how many new places you travel to each year. Once you know where to get the data, add a note to your calendar to review it each week or each month, which is more practical than tracking it every day. Second, manual tracking should be limited to your most important habits. It is better to consistently track one habit than to sporadically track 10. Finally, record each measurement immediately after the habit occurs. The competition of the behavior is the cue of write it down. This approach allows you to combine the habit staking method mentioned in chapter 5 with habit tracking. That said, every habit sticks and at the same point, and more important than any single measurement is having a good plan for when your habit sides off track. Knowing when and when not to track a habit. Say you are running a restaurant and you want to know if your chef is doing a good job. One way to measure success is to track how many customers pay for a meal each day. If more customers comes in, the food must be good. If fewer customers comes in, something must be wrong. However, this one measurement, daily revenue, only gives a limited picture of what really going on. Just because someone plays off a meal doesn't mean that they enjoy the meal. Even dissatisfied customers are unlikely to dine and dash. In fact, you are only measuring revenue. The food might be getting worse, but you are making up for it with marketing or discounts or some other method. Instead, it may be more effective to track how many customers finish their meal or perhaps the percentage of customers who leave a, a generous tip. This pitfall is evident in many areas of life. We focus on working long hours instead of getting a meaningful work done. We care more about getting 10,000 steps than we do about being healthy. We teach for standardized tests instead of emphasizing learning, curiosity, and critical thinking. In short, we optimize for what we measure. When we choose the wrong measurement, we get the wrong behavior. In our data driven world, we tend to overvalue number and undervalue everything ephemeral, soft, and difficult to quantity. We mistakenly think the factors we can measure are the only factors that exist, but just because you can measure something doesn't mean it's the most important thing, and just because you can't measure something doesn't mean it's not important at all. All of this to say, it's crucial. It's crucial to keep habit tracking in its proper place. It can feel satisfying to record a habit and track your progress, but the measurement is not the only thing that matters. Furthermore, there are many ways to measure progress, and sometimes it helps to shift your focus to something entirely different. This is why a non-scale victories can be effective for weight loss. The number on the scale may be stubborn, so if you focus solely on that number, your motivation will stack, but you may notice that your skin looks better and or you wake up earlier or your sex drive got a boost. All of these are a valid ways of track your improvement. If you are not feeling Motivated by the number on the scale, perhaps it's time to focus on a different measurement, one that gives you more signal of progress. No matter how you measure your improvement, habit tracking offers a simple way to make your habit more satisfying. Each measurement provides a little bit of evidence that you are moving in the right direction and a brief moment of immediate pleasure for a job well done. So, guys, this was the end of chapter 16. Here is a summary of the chapter. There are six bullet points. Number one of the most satisfying feelings is the feeling of making progress. Second, a habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit, like marking on X on a calendar. Third, habit tracker and other visual forms of measurement can make your habits satisfying by providing clear evidence of your progress. Fourth, don't break the chain to keep your habit streak alive. 5. Never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. 6. And last one. Just because you can measure something doesn't mean it's the most important thing. Uh, Chapter number 17. So there is a bit time, so I thought that we should complete today chapter number 17 also. So yes, here is the chapter number 17. How an accountability partner can change everything. Now this is also very important. After serving as a pilot in the World War II, Roger Fisher attended Howard Law School and spent 34 years specializing in negotiation and conflict management. He founded the Harvard Negotiation Project, worked with numerous countries and world leaders on peace resolution, hostage crisis, and diplomatic compromises, but it was in the 1970s and 1980s as the threat of nuclear war escalated. The Fisher developed perhaps his most interesting idea. At the time, Fisher was focused on the designing strategies that could prevent nuclear war, and he had noticed a troubling fact. Any sitting president would leave success to launch codes that could kill millions of people, but would never actually see any more die because he would always be thousands of miles away. When I suggested this to friends in the Pentagon, they said, "My God, that's terrible. Having to kill someone would distort the president's judgment. It might never push the button. Just we are more likely to repeat an experience when the ending is satisfying. We are also more likely to avoid an experience when the ending is painful. Pain is an effective teacher. If a failure is painful, it gets fixed. It's a failure is relatively painful. It gets ignored. The most immediate and more costly a mistake is faster. You will learn from it. The threat of a bad review forces a plumber to be good at his job. The more immediate the pain, the less likely the behavior. If you want to prevent bad habits and eliminate unhealthy behaviors, then adding an instant cost of the action is a great way to reduce their odds. We repeat bad habits because they serve us in some way, and that makes them hard and abandon. The best way I know to overcome this predicament is to increase the speed of the punishment associated with all behavior. There can be a gap between the action and the consequences. There is, of course, a limit of this. If you are going to rely on punishment of change behavior, then the strength of the punishment match the relative strength of the behavior it is trying to correct. To be productive, the cost of procrastination must be greater than the cost of action. To be healthy, the cost of laziness must be greater than the cost of exercise. Getting fined for smoking in a restaurant for or failing to recycle adds consequences to an action. Behavior only shifts if the punishment is painful enough and reliably enforced. Thankfully, there is a straightforward way to add an immediate course of any bad habit. Create a contract. The habit contract. The first seat belt law was passed in New York on December 1st, 1984. At the time, just 14% of people in the United States regularly wore a seat belt. But that was all about to change. Within 5 years, over half of the nation had seatbelt laws. Today, wearing a seatbelt is enforceable by law in 49 of the 40 seats. And it's not just the legislation, the number of people wearing seatbelt has changed dramatically as well. In 2016, over 88% of Americans buckled up each time they got in a car. In just over 30 years, there was a complete reversal in the habit of millions of people. Laws and regulations are an example of how government can change our habits by creating a social contract. As a society, we collectively agree to abide by certain rules and then enforce them as a group. Whenever a new piece of legislation impacts behavior, seatbelt laws, banning smoking inside a restaurant, mandatory recycling, it is an example of a social contract shaping our habits. The group agrees to act in a certain way, and if you don't follow along, you will be punished. Just as government use laws to hold citizens accountable, you can create a habit contract to hold your accountable. A habit contract is a verbal or written agreement in which you state your commitment to a particular habit and the punishment that will occur if you don't follow through. Then you find one or two people to act as your accountability partner and sign off on the contract with you. And then he listed the punishment if he failed. If Brian doesn't do these two items, then the following consequences will be enforced. He will give to dressed up each workday and each Sunday morning for the rest of the quarter. Dress up is defined as not wearing jeans, t-shirt, hoodies or shorts. He will also give Joyce, his trainer, over $200 to use as he sees fit if he missed one day of logging food. At the bottom of the package, Harris, his wife, and his trainer all signed my contract. 3 months later, after hitting his targets for quarter 1, Harris upgraded his goal. The consequences escalated too. If he missed this uh, carbohydrate, carbohydrate and protein targets, he had to pay his trainer $100. And if he failed to weigh himself, this he had to give to his wife $500 to use as she saw fit. Perhaps most painfully, if he forget to run a sprint, he had to dress up for work every day and wear an Alabama hat at the rest of the quarter. The bitter rival of his beloved a burn team. To make bad habits unsatisfying, your best option is to make them painful in the moment. Creating a habit contract is a straightforward way to do exactly that. Even if you don't want to create a full blown habit contract, simply having an accountability partner is useful. The comedian Margaret Chow writes a joke on song every day. She does the song a day challenge with a friend, which helps them both stay accountable. Knowing that someone is watching can be a powerful motivation. You are less likely to procrastinate or give up because there is an immediate cost. If you don't follow through, perhaps they will see you as untrustworthy or lazy. Suddenly, you are not only falling to upload your promise to yourself, but also falling to upload your promise to others. You can even automate this process. Thomas Frank, an entrepreneur in Boulder, Colorado, wakes up at 5:55 each morning, and if he does not, he has a tweet automatically scheduled that says it's 6:10 and I am not a being because I am lazy. We are always trying to present our best selves to the world. We comb our hair and brush our teeth and dress ourselves carefully because we know these habits are likely to get a positive reaction. We want to get good grades and graduate from top schools to impress potential employers and met and our friends and family. We care about the opinions of those around us because it helps if others like us. This is precisely why getting an accountability partner or singing a habit contract can work so well. So guys, there is finish of chapter number 17. Here is a summary of the chapter. There are five bullet points. So number one, the inversion of the fourth law of behavior change make it unsatisfying. Second, we are less likely to repeat a bad habit if it is painful or unsatisfying. Third, an accountability partner can create an immediate cost of interaction. We care deeply about what others think of us, and we do not want others to have a lesser opinion of us. Fourth, a habit contract can be used to add a social cost of any behavior. It makes the cost of violating your promise public and painful. And fifth and last, knowing that someone else is watching you can be powerful motivator. So guys, we are reading continuously 20-30 minutes from last 13 days. This today is the day of 13 of 100-day reading challenge, and now I can start a bit improvement in my reading fluency. If you also feel like that in your uh, experience, and I hope you are also reading at the same time when you are watching any of my videos. So guys, keep practicing. One day success definitely will come at your feet. So till the time, do hard work, keep practicing, and if you need any kind of help, please comment me below, or you can also send message me in my WhatsApp number 98739 76739. Till the time, goodbye.